Naruto's kidnapping, and Itachi's secret training. It was night in Konoha. The training grounds were silent except for Naruto Uzumaki's cries of exertion. Under Jiraiya's watchful eye, he strove to master increasingly difficult techniques. The boy was determined to prove himself capable of protecting his village. However, at that very moment, somewhere far away, Sasuke Uchiha had already left the village. Consumed by a desire for revenge, he had chosen to follow Orochimaru, believing that only through this dark master would he find the power to defeat Itachi. Team 7 was disbanded and the fates of its members were taking different paths. Suddenly, a shadow appeared. Itachi appeared before Naruto and Jiraiya as a silent figure. His eyes glowed red, reflecting the Sharingan. The Sennin didn't hesitate to advance against him, but Itachi was calculating. With a few exchanges of blows and the use of genjutsu, he managed to neutralize Jiraiya long enough to pull Naruto away. In a few moments, the boy found himself unconscious, being taken away from his village and everything he knew. When he awoke, Naruto was in a cold, dark hideout. Ahead of him, Itachi Uchiha stared at him with that serene, impenetrable gaze. The boy, furious, shouted, "You're from the Akatsuki! You came to kill me, didn't you?" But Itachi merely closed his eyes for a moment and replied, "If I wanted you dead, it would have happened already. You are different, Naruto. Within you lies more than the power of the 9 tails. There is something that can change the world. That is why, while Obito and Madara believe you must be the last Jinchuriki to die, I have decided that you must become stronger. Strong enough to destroy the Akatsuki itself one day." Naruto didn't understand. His mind was full of questions. Why would a member of the Akatsuki say this? Why would Itachi, the murderer of his own clan, speak of protecting him? Still, the fire of determination burned within him. "If that's what you want, then train me, but I'll never be like you. I'll keep believing in my friends and my village, even if everyone thinks I betrayed Konoha." Itachi stared at him intently, a rare shadow of respect flashing through his eyes. "Then prove it, Naruto Uzumaki. Prove that your faith in people can overcome even the hatred of this world." And so the secret training began. Naruto was subjected to endless illusions, learning to resist the Sharingan. He was forced to control his chakra with precision, to face psychological pain that nearly destroyed him, but each time he rose even stronger. "You are foolish, Naruto," Itachi said calmly, "but perhaps this foolishness is what this world needs." Meanwhile, Konoha mourned. For all to see, Naruto had been taken by Akatsuki. Tsunade desperately sought news. Jiraiya, tormented by his failure, set out on his investigations into the organization. And Sasuke was already far away, immersed in Orochimaru's darkness, unaware that his brother was secretly shaping the flame that could one day save or destroy everything. Pain, training, and the weight of truth. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months. The Akatsuki hideout was gloomy, shrouded in silence and shadows, but for Naruto, that place became more than a prison. It was a brutal training ground. Itachi spared no effort to push him beyond his limits. Endless genjutsu, illusions of pain, memories of abandonment, distorted visions of loved ones destroyed before his eyes. Naruto would wake screaming in a cold sweat, with the psychological scars etched into his mind. And yet, he rose. He clenched his fists, gritted his teeth, and hoarsely said, "I will not give up. I will never give up." Itachi watched him silently, and in his eyes, hidden beneath that unshakable calm, grew a rare trace of admiration. The training wasn't limited to the psychological. Itachi taught Naruto to control his chakra with deadly precision. The boy, who had always been seen as impulsive and careless, now learned discipline. He ran for hours on steep terrain while keeping clones practicing ninjutsu techniques, learned to blend his natural energy with Kurama's to increase his endurance, and was forced to fight illusions of enemies more powerful than he had ever faced. With each fall, Itachi demanded that he get back up, and with each victory reminded him that the true enemy was not Akatsuki or Madara, but rather the eternal cycle of hatred that consumed the ninja world. As Naruto grew up in secret, the world outside changed. Jiraiya, Naruto's last remaining link to paternal affection, set out on his perilous journey to Amegakure. Disguised, he penetrated the rain-soaked village's defenses, determined to find answers to the enigma known as pain. What he discovered was devastating. Pain was actually Nagato, one of his former students, the one he had placed his faith in years ago. Their reunion was marked not by words of comfort, but by a desperate struggle. Jiraiya, even with all his strength, was overcome by the 6 paths of pain. Each blow he received was accompanied by memories of a time when he believed he could teach a path to peace. Before he fell, his body scarred and his heart heavy, he sent his last coded message to Konoha, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. But on that rain-soaked field, Jiraiya fell, and his life was extinguished like a candle flame consumed by the wind. The news of Jiraiya's death reached Naruto within Akatsuki itself. It was Itachi who told him, his words unabashed. "He's gone, Naruto. Your master has fallen beneath the weight of this world. You must bear this now." The words struck Ain, the boy like sharp blades. Naruto screamed, punching the stone walls until his hands bled. His Kurama chakra began to surge, a red aura boiling around him, searing the air, shaking the flames of the torches. His eyes grew wilder, his breathing heavier. For the first time, it seemed he might lose control. But Itachi approached, steady and calm, placing a hand on his shoulder. The Uchiha's eyes glowed red, piercing the chaos consuming the boy. "Control. Use this pain, Naruto. If you let it destroy you, you will be nothing more than another in this cycle. But if you turn it into fuel, you can become the spark that breaks this chain of hatred." Naruto fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Through the pain, he whispered, I will carry on. Even without him, I will prove that Iro Sennin's dream did not die with me. I will change this world." Itachi remained silent, but deep within him, he felt a rare emotion. That boy, so foolish and impulsive, was becoming the hope he never believed he would see. Deep down, Itachi wished Sasuke could see this, that he could understand that true power came not from revenge, but from perseverance and love. But Sasuke was far away, sunk in Orochimaru's clutches, and fate had already laid a cruel path for both of them. As the months passed, Naruto grew stronger not only physically, but spiritually. His body became more resistant to Kurama's chakra. His mind was able to withstand previously unbreakable genjutsu, and his worldview expanded. Itachi told him about Obito's plans, about Madara, and about the inevitable war that was coming. "You will be considered a traitor, Naruto," he told him one night amid the silence of the torches. "Your village will hate you and perhaps even try to destroy you. But remember, it is not for them that you fight. It is for what you believe in. It is for what does not yet exist. It is for the chance to break this destiny." Naruto, fists clenched, replied without hesitation, "I will fight for everyone. Even if they hate me, even if they call me a traitor, I will fight to the end." But Jiraiya's death was only the harbinger of an even greater storm. Pain began to move his devices against Konoha, and Obito, in the shadows, waited for the right moment to manipulate Sasuke. The balance Itachi had tried to maintain was about to crumble. Naruto, shaped by the fire of suffering and the steel of discipline, was about to face not only enemies, but the very weight of the legacy that had been handed to him. The path was set. The boy who had been kidnapped as a hostage now carried within him not only the hope of peace, but also the inevitability of war. The confrontation with Nagato and the legacy of the Rinnegan. The night was heavy. The rain fell relentlessly in Amegakure, as if reflecting the constant pain of its inhabitants. It was in this setting that Naruto, already shaped by Itachi's rigorous training, was led to meet the true leader of the Akatsuki, Nagato, the man behind the 6 paths of pain. The atmosphere was suffocating. Naruto, still dressed in the organization's black cloak, walked slowly, feeling the weight of responsibility with every step. His mind echoed the memory of Jiraiya, his death, and the promise he had made to honor his dream. Before him, Nagato, pale, frail, and attached to his strange machine, watched him with cold, serene eyes. Those same eyes that shone in concentric circles full of power and curse, the Rinnegan. Naruto took a deep breath, his fists shaking with pent-up rage. You were responsible. You killed the Arrow Sennin. You destroyed the man who believed in you. Naruto's voice echoed through the hall. Pain, motionless, replied with his almost divine calm. Jiraiya believed in a foolish dream, a world of peace that could never exist. I am proof that pain is the only answer. Only when everyone experiences suffering will the cycle be broken. That is the inevitable fate of this world. Naruto stepped forward, his red Kurama aura expanding, mixed now with a different, more controlled energy, shaped by his training with Itachi. Then I will prove you wrong. I will bear this pain, but I will never give up what he believed in. The confrontation exploded. The 6 paths of pain moved in sync, unleashing devastating attacks. The ground trembled, explosions shook the walls, and each blow was a reminder that this was no ordinary enemy. But Naruto was no longer the same impulsive boy. His movements were more precise, his strategies more calculated. He used clones to mislead bodies, countered with enlarged Rasengans, and exploited openings with the discipline Itachi had taught him. Still, Pain's strength was overwhelming. Naruto fell countless times, bleeding, nearly gasping for breath. But each time he fell, he remembered Jiraiya's face, the weight of Itachi's words, and rose again shouting, "I will not lose! I will not give up!" The fight continued until finally, Naruto managed to reach Nagato's true body. The young Uzumaki found himself face to face with a frail man, consumed by pain, attached to the grotesque machine that sustained his life. It was hard to believe that this weakened figure was the same being who had destroyed so much. Naruto panted, his body scarred, but his eyes burned with determination. "You are not a god, Nagato. You are just a man who has given up hope. But I will carry on that hope, even if the whole world hates me." Nagato, for the first time in a long time, shuddered at those words. In Naruto's eyes, he saw the reflection of his master Jiraiya. The same flame, the same unbreakable faith, but now even stronger. In a moment of deep silence, Nagato began to reflect. His hands trembled, and tears welled up in his pale eyes. "You are the answer I couldn't give our master. You, perhaps, are the light this world was missing." With a final effort, he focused his chakra, and the Rinnegan shone brightly. Naruto, surprised, took a step back. Nagato extended his trembling hand. "These eyes are not a blessing but a curse. But in your hands, perhaps they can become the key to change. Naruto Uzumaki, I trust you. Carry this weight and break the cycle." The energy shot through Naruto like lightning. His eyes changed, now marked by the concentric circles of the Rinnegan. An immense, almost incomprehensible power exploded within him. At the same time, he felt the weight of all the pain Nagato had carried, the wars, the losses, the despair. Naruto fell to his knees, panting, tears streaming down his face. "I will honor this. I promise. I will change this world, even if it costs me my life." Nagato smiled faintly, a sad smile, and his life slowly faded. The leader of Akatsuki fell, leaving behind his most powerful legacy. But Naruto's victory was also his sentence. By inheriting the Rinnegan and betraying Akatsuki's trust, he knew he couldn't stay there. Obito already moved in the shadows, manipulating everything, waiting for the right moment to use Sasuke as his new pawn. Naruto, still covered by Akatsuki's black cloak, left his hiding place. His steps were heavy but firm. He was no longer just the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Now he was the bearer of the eyes of the gods, carrying within him the burden of 2 generations, Jiraiya's dream and Nagato's redemption. The world would never be the same again. Akatsuki's last target. Shadows moved behind the scenes of the war. Nagato's death had been a blow to the Akatsuki, but to Obito it was nothing more than a calculated turn of events. He had already anticipated that Nagato would not be able to carry the Rinnegan forever. Now, the eyes that had belonged to Madara were in the possession of someone completely unexpected. Naruto Uzumaki. This changed everything. The boy, already a wielder of the Nine Tails, had become not only an enemy, but the key to the entire Eye of the Moon Plan. We cannot allow him to escape. That power belongs to Madara. That power belongs to us, Obito murmured to Zetsu as he watched Naruto's movements from a distance, hidden in his swirling cloak. Naruto, now aware of the weight he carried, decided to flee from Akatsuki for good. The hideout was no longer his prison, but a battlefield for future battles. He knew he would be hunted, knew that everyone would now see him as a traitor and an enemy, but within him he carried the promise to change the fate of the ninja world. Still dressed in the black cloak with red clouds, he walked alone, his eyes now glowing with the Rinnegan. He felt the weight of Nagato, Jiraiya, and even Itachi on his mind. I will carry on no matter what. Even if the whole world turns against me, he thought, his chakra pulsing like an indomitable flame. Meanwhile, Sasuke emerged from his final confrontation with Itachi. His older brother's body had fallen, and the long-awaited revenge seemed complete. But before he could even comprehend the void it left in his heart, Obito appeared before him. And with cold words, the manipulator opened the wound that would forever change his outlook. He revealed the whole truth about Itachi. That the clan massacre had not been an act of hatred, but a sacrifice. That Itachi had protected Konoha at the cost of his own honor, and that Sasuke's entire life had been guided by a lie. Tears fell silently from Sasuke's eyes, but the pain quickly turned to fury. Konoha, they used my brother. They made my life a living hell. I will destroy them all. Obito, smiling beneath his mask, knew he had succeeded. Sasuke was now his, but there was more. Obito revealed what had happened to Naruto. He said that his former teammate had not only joined Akatsuki, but that he now carried within him Nagato's eyes, Madara's Rinnegan, and the Nine Tails. He is the center of everything, Sasuke. The boy you call a friend is, in fact, the greatest obstacle to the plans Itachi so desperately sought to protect. If you wish to honor your brother's legacy, you must bring those eyes back. You must bring the Nine Tails to us. Naruto must be hunted. These words further inflamed Sasuke's heart. The former bond of friendship was now consumed by the flames of rivalry and hatred. To him, Naruto was no longer a comrade. He was the enemy who needed to be defeated. On the other side, Naruto walked alone along the roads, aware that he had become the prime target. The entire Akatsuki would turn against him, but now it was different. He was no longer the foolish boy who shouted without thinking. He carried within him not only the strength of the Nine Tails, but the power of the Rinnegan and Itachi's teachings. He knew Obito was moving. He knew Sasuke was increasingly consumed by darkness, and he knew that at some point their paths would collide. But still, Naruto kept the promise he had made in tears before Jiraiya's memory. I will change this world, even if I have to fight everyone, even if I have to fight you, Sasuke. Thus, their destinies were sealed. Obito, in the shadows, waited for the right moment to tear Madara's eyes from Naruto's body and finally take the Kyuubi. Sasuke, consumed by fury and grief, accepted his new mission to hunt not only the Eight Tails, but also his former friend. And Naruto, carrying alone the weight of so many lives, pressed on, aware that the true confrontation was yet to come. The ninja world was heading inexorably towards war, and at the center of it all were two boys who had once dreamed of protecting their village together. Now, enemies destined to face each other. And so, the fate of two boys who once dreamed of protecting Konoha together was twisted by the shadows of hatred and manipulation. Naruto, now bearer of the Kyuubi and the eyes of the gods, bears the burden of being hunted by the entire world. Sasuke, manipulated by Obito, vows to bring back Madara's Rinnegan and end the one he once called brother. On the horizon, and inevitable. War looms, and at its center, the final clash between friendship and revenge. The ninja world will never be the same. The war has already begun,